So hey y'all, I'm back with another video. So tonight's video is yet again another Chioma Chats video podcast edition. So by the title, we're going to be talking about baby mamas failing. And I know that's a little harsh because I don't necessarily blame any of these women for either leaving their situation or demanding certain standards on how to be treated to get to marriage or just a certain pinnacle in their relationships. But we have to have an honest conversation here. Recently, Kash Doll announced that she is now single and not putting up with anything just for the sake of staying with somebody. Kash Doll has a young son who is a toddler, and she recently had a baby girl who was probably only a few months old, and she's now separating from her child's father. I do think that this came as a shocker to her followers and supporters because we've never really gotten an inside look to her relationship with her baby daddy, Tracy T. They seem unproblematic. There's never really been any crazy drama that went public, and she definitely seemed happy all this while. Kash Doll is a rapper out of Detroit, and I remember I actually went to one of her concerts in college back in 2015. This is when she was still up and coming. She was pretty much still a local Detroit rapper, but was making a lot of noise in the Midwest. And she performed at a college party. She came in looking beautiful. Y'all, I had to go back to the archives to find this footage, but I just liked her ever since because I feel like she's actually one of the most underrated female rappers. And so her brand is being icy, talking her talk, being a boss. She's also in her acting bag. She was a cast member on the show BMF, and she really has been doing her thing. She's one of the female rappers who just gets her work done. But when she put out this statement about not accepting anything just because she has a child with someone, I think the conversation of being a baby mama came back up because a lot of times this is the inevitable outcome in the situation. And just because I know I'll get this comment or people want to defend baby mamahood, I get that marriage does not certify or solidify a relationship. However, we know that the stats are married couples who have children usually have a more solid family unit and better benefits for their kids versus anything. I personally don't feel like a boyfriend is worth giving a kid to. I don't care how much you love that individual. I just don't believe that personally. But I do get that things happen. I do get that women slip up. I do get that sometimes you're in the heat of the moment and you may end up getting pregnant. It happens, actually happens a lot. And I'm gonna preface this. This video is not about why marriage is necessary or how you should require marriage or pushing the idea of marriage. I wanna go a different route a little bit. I'm still gonna talk about it, but just a little bit because I feel like all of the situations I'm gonna talk about are kind of unique, but kind of comes back to the same premise overall. There are a lot of public examples with Kash Doll and other women I'm gonna mention where it seems like becoming a baby mama didn't work out for a multitude of reasons. And overall, you end up with a label that maybe you didn't want, or it just becomes your reality. So I've broken this video down into one overall main talking point. So without further ado, let's get right into this video. So my first point, let's start off with Kash Doll. Like I said, Kash Doll, she's a rapper, she's an actress, she's been in her bag for a while, and she's basically came out stating that her and her child's father are no longer together. And she says she's not gonna put up with anything. So she says, single, and I don't give a F about y'all saying I have 2 kids by him, now I'm just a baby mama, blah, blah, blah. I'm not dealing with just anything to just keep my family together. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I definitely agree. I mean, we can always talk about how women should require XYZ prior to having a man's baby. And I think that's very, very fair to say. There's a multitude of things that you should require. It's just completely up to you, which I'll talk about in my closing points. But in this case, I'm not sure what Kash Doll was looking for overall, but at the very least, I think any woman in a relationship is requiring commitment and faithfulness. And she didn't reveal the reason why her family is being broken up, but in my opinion, it kind of alludes to him not being faithful, or there's just been some type of disrespect involved. So then she goes live and she kind of explains a little bit more. Let's check out this video.
Keep talking about a ring and being married, that shit don't stop neither. All that do is just make it harder for you to break up with somebody. Cause now y'all gotta go to fucking court. That's all that do. Shit don't make nothing. Like, I had my baby for me. My babies came from me because I wanted my babies, not to keep them around. So don't ever get it twisted. Don't act like, oh, she's just stuck. I ain't stuck. I'm rich. Buka. Yeah, and then especially when you have a little girl, you just be like, oh, no, I'm not dealing with that type of shit. I ain't downplay marriage, but y'all act like marriage is everything. You can break up when you married too. You can break up when you in a relationship. You can break up when you're not in a fucking relationship. So you can break up at any time. I just hate how y'all just make it seem like that's the way of life. So you want a woman to turn fucking 30, 32, 35 without no kids because she waiting on a nigga to do the right thing. You wait on a nigga to do the right thing, you won't never have no kids. And we here to reproduce. So guess what? I had my kids. They here and I love them. They mine. Fuck whoever got something to say about it.
Okay. So there's a lot to dissect with this. Let's touch on the first thing she said, which was marriage makes it harder for you to leave because you have to go to court and that it doesn't mean anything. Now, let's keep it a bean. Kash Doll is very butthurt right now. In this case scenario, I feel like to downplay marriage and to make it seem like it means nothing, that's not fair to say because I don't think that's true. And I think this is the mindset of a lot of women who maybe they did want marriage, but it didn't work out for them, or they are a product of their parents not being married. They've never really witnessed a healthy, sustainable, thriving marriage. So to them, the benefits, or at least the image of marriage, hasn't been put in front of them to understand why people do seek it. So I don't think it's right for her to say that just because a man ended up doing her wrong. Getting out of a marriage may be difficult, but it's not impossible. I remember hearing that Kash Doll's career was kind of stagnant or at a standstill at some point because she signed a bad contract. And to me, it kind of sounds like it's harder to get out of a bad musical contract than it is a marriage. If two people no longer want to be married and they're both on the same page, yes, it's going to take a lawyer and money and court, but it's not an impossible thing to do. I've seen it happen before. The next thing that she said was that she had her kids for herself. If that's the case, you would go to a sperm bank. You're not going to be in a relationship putting your body on the line, your love on the line, your heart on the line overall, just to have a child or children for the sake of yourself. And I feel like this is a defense mechanism and honestly nonsense. You had your kid because you were in love with the father and y'all wanted to reproduce. And she stated that women are here to reproduce. And I feel like that downplays women. Women are on this earth, yes, to reproduce because we have the ability to do so. But I wouldn't just chalk up women to just being birth givers. Women have a lot more to offer than just reproduction. And I feel like she sees herself as that now that she's technically left with 2 kids. And the child's father may still be active and contributing to the kids, but he's not going to be in an active contributing relationship with her. Now, the next thing she said was that she isn't stuck, she's rich. Again, a defense mechanism. It doesn't matter how much money you make. If you end up being the sole provider or the sole caregiver to children, that's a tough situation because no matter how much money, it takes more than one person to raise a child. I don't think she's stuck. I do believe she has the freedom to move around, date around, find a new man if she wants that. However, you do now have to move with the consideration that these just aren't your kids. They're also Tracy's kids. And it's sad because she literally just had her baby. I want to say 1, if not 2 months ago. Her baby girl isn't even in 3 to 6 month diapers yet. And to me, I think that there had to have been some type of behavior that she wasn't going to put up with prior to her getting pregnant this second time around and having her daughter. I think I can use context clues to say that you're not putting up with it because you've seen it before and you're tired. Because she mentioned that, you know, especially when you have a little girl, there's just certain things she's not putting up with. And I feel like a lot of women feel this way. You're being done a certain way, you wouldn't want your daughter to be done. So with that, you have empathy for the fact that you're a woman and your daughter will grow up to be a woman. So I feel like whatever her baby daddy did, he had been doing it. Now, the third thing she touched on was marriages break up, which I said that. They do. But that is the reality of any relationship. Whether it's boyfriend and girlfriend, girlfriend and girlfriend, boyfriend and boyfriend, or a full-blown marriage between anyone, there's always a chance that it may not work out in the end. And marriage is a part of the 7 sacraments. So essentially, it's supposed to be a relationship through the law and the Lord. Yes, marriages do end in divorce in many cases. However, we have been seeing the stats trend in favor of marriage in 2-parent households as times have changed and more information has come out. Like for real, marriages fail, but so does birth control. So you gotta pick your poison. Now, the fourth thing that she talked about was waiting on a man to act right. And this is kind of where my thesis statement is for all of the examples I will talk about and in my closing points. But she said that society wants women to wait until they're 32 or 35 for a man to act right. You are never ever supposed to wait for a man to act right. Like, can I just say that? Once a man shows you who he is, you're supposed to believe that. But I feel like a lot of times with the women, we are kind of bred to stick by a man. Toxic relationships, ride or die mentality. And even back in the day, our mothers and grandmothers were in very bad relationships because divorce was like a curse word and not being married was looked down upon as a woman, and especially in the Black community. So no, never wait for a man to act right. But I feel like Kash Doll was projecting because what she did was waited for her man to act right and he didn't. He definitely had to have showed her examples of him not getting his act together before she reached this final judgment. I believe she's in her early or mid 30s, so I feel like the message would have been better for her to say, don't put up with anything, leave after the first red flag. And some people are worth a second chance, but depending on what it is, it's no point waiting for a man to get his act together. So overall with Kash Doll, I do commend her for not putting up with whatever it was. I would recommend every woman to do that, whether it means leaving a man and now you're a baby mother, or now you're a single mother, whatever it may be. I will never talk down on that. There's no amount of pro-marriage talk that I can say that would make me disregard the fact that no woman, regardless of her situation, should deal with nonsense. But I do think a lot of her response was her being offended by some of the comments that come with social media and projecting her own own realities about her failed relationship. Now, the second person I wanted to talk about was Queen Naija. And I talked about this before, but I just wanted to bring this back up because I kind of feel like it trends with the examples. A few months ago, Queen Naija and her boyfriend Clarence NYC went viral because they were doing a Q&A on their YouTube channel. And somebody asked, is 10 years being in a relationship like boyfriend and girlfriend too long to wait for marriage? Her child's father and boyfriend Clarence said a whole bunch of malarkey, basically saying that maybe the man isn't ready to propose. And so Queen challenged and debated what he said, pretty much expressing that 10 years is way too long and that she would leave if it was her. Now, the irony of the situation is the fact that Clarence and Queen share one child together. Queen has a child from a previous marriage, and Clarence and Queen have been together for going on 7 years. So speaking about marriage in this case, because it was asked, it seems that Queen does desire marriage from Clarence, but Clarence is just either not ready or he doesn't see the value in it. And I think the reality is that there are some men that don't. I feel like part of it is men just not stepping up to the plate in this day and age. Marriage was very much valued in past generations from men and women, but with the whole gender wars and men realizing that the world gives them the patriarchal privilege, if you will, to move as they want, some men don't settle down because they feel they don't have to. We see in the media that male entertainers are often baby daddies, or they have outside babies of their marriage, or they just have a Noah's Ark full of children in so many different places due to lack of sexual self-control. Like with almost every rapper, even if they're married now, they had children with either girlfriends or random girls prior to fame. And that image doesn't get called out enough. A lot of men in entertainment and in day-to-day life literally exhibit the same behavior that they would bash women for. And this is a woman's channel, so I do hold women accountable and speak directly to women, but I feel like men kind of get away with being a pass-around penis and not present for their children. On top of that, they don't bear the load of being a parent, and in most cases, and oftentimes, leading to them evading commitment and responsibilities. Not saying that's Clarence, but just saying. So let's check out this clip from Clarence and Queen when they answer the question about marriage.
Boyfriend of 10 years, not asking to marry me. We've been living together for 4 years. After 10 years, 10 years?
10 years is crazy.
One of those.
That nigga talks about me. 10 years?
After 10 years, and y'all been living together for 4 years, so y'all do have experience with living together. What you got to say about it? I want to hear your take on it first.
I mean, you should probably have a conversation with him, maybe see if he has that maybe in his head, or is he planning to do it or not. I don't know. Maybe there's something stopping him from doing it. Maybe you need to communicate with that. Like, 10 years is a pretty long time. That's pretty long.
Yeah, maybe y'all should to go to like therapy or something and see if like what exactly is stopping him. If you've been doing everything you could do, honestly, I just feel like a man knows. I just feel like he knows. He knows if you like.
What you doing after
what, I would leave.
After 10 years?
Yes, I definitely leave. 10 years is crazy. It is because.
What if she's like 48?
48?
Like, what if she's like 48? You don't know how old that lady is.
Babe, your life is not over at 48 or 50. I've seen 50-year-old women. J-Lo is past 50. Like, it's beautiful women out there. You can still get yourself together. It's never too late. I don't think it's too late.
Nah, it's never too late. I'm not saying it's too late. I'm just saying I think that would make it a little more... Yeah, you just don't know what predicament she's in, because you gotta understand, in order to put yourself in her shoes, like, you're saying it easy, like, oh, I would leave, but she hasn't left, obviously, because she's been there for 10 years. So she's not leaving for
But if that's something that you genuinely like really want, and if you find out that your partner like has first of all, like he said, see if he has intentions of doing it. Have y'all ever talked about it? Like, has it?
I'm not gonna lie, he might not.
Ever
10 years,
be
he might not.
Yeah,
He
but
might
if
not.
that's something that you want, but maybe he doesn't want, then maybe you need to break up with your boyfriend to find your husband.
10 years, yeah, 10 years. He might not have it in mind. I'm not gonna lie.
10 years is crazy. I'm beyond
Might
it.
not have it in mind.
Yeah,
Sweetheart.
You think after 10 years, like
10 is a lot.
that's like a decade? No, wait, is it?
10 is.
Yeah, that's a decade. Y'all been together for a decade.
So with this situation, I feel like Queen was also projecting, and this was more or less a representation of their current situation. What is the difference between being in a relationship with a boyfriend for just about 7 years versus 10 years? The answer is damn near nothing. And Clarence was giving a very honest, unfortunate, and disappointing, but honest viewpoint of how he views not only marriage, but his relationship with Queen. And Queen was also giving an honest response to what she feels she wants wants and requires. The problem is she required it after something that is a permanent commitment, such as having a child. And I feel like oftentimes when women do that, it gives men a lot more room and a lot more leeway to waste your time, or at least stray away from what you want as a woman in a relationship. And this is just a blatant example of that. So Queen is now technically a 2-time baby mother, and granted, she was married to her first child's father, Chris, but I think it was more of a shotgun wedding. Like, she was so heavily involved in the church and singing in the church, she led with Christianity, so she hurried up and rushed to get married when she found out she was pregnant. In this second relationship, she didn't require marriage up front, probably from being scarred if we're being honest, and was leading more with her infatuation and rushing to heal herself from her last relationship. She got pregnant really fast when she started dating Clarence. Like, I want to say it was within a few months, maybe 3, I'll give it 5 at the most. And there wasn't enough time to really get to know him before having a baby. And because Clarence essentially came up off of Queen, I feel like he thinks he's the prize and he hit the jackpot. And Queen's desperation at that moment when they met, and maybe even now, has allowed him to prolong giving her what she wants in the long run. Now, the next example I want to talk about is Instagram influencer as well as actress Miracle Watts. This was really the inspiration for this video, but I feel like all 4 ladies have ties to one another with their situations in some way. So Miracle Watts, she's 31 years old, she's from Houston, Texas, and she's really known as this beautiful Instagram model and has dated different entertainers and musicians up until her most recent and most popular relationship with actor Tyler LaPlay. These two met on the set of the show P-Valley, and they are love interests in the show, and then took that to be love interest out of the show in real life. She then is dating him, gets pregnant, and now she has a son that will be 2 years old in September. And these two started dating in 2021, so they've been dating for like a little bit under 3 years, or maybe right about 3 years. So again, she got pregnant very fast by Tyler. And she shared another Q&A. I swear Q&As are killing the girls, where she also talked about marriage. She says that she requires marriage, she hopes to be married soon, and that her boyfriend better get his act together soon to give her that ring. Let's check out that clip.
Do you see yourself getting married? Of course. Of course. I better see myself getting married soon. Soon. I have a question. Do y'all think it's disrespectful for a man not to marry a woman after being with her for a certain amount of years if they both agree that, you know, marriage is something that they want? I do. And yeah, we're coming up on that time, but so you better get it together.
So with this, speaking of marriage in this one, because it was brought up again, as a lady, if you're seeking marriage, if you're seeking commitment, if that is a sacrament that you want to experience, religious or not, it has to be required and stated and reiterated from the beginning. Not trying to toot my own horn, but I'm in a relationship now, and I made it very clear that I will not push out a baby before marriage, and that I want to be married. And I made sure that my boyfriend had the same intentions to be married before I dug deeper into the relationship. He also seeks marriage. His parents have been married for over 30 years, and he was raised in a 2-parent household just like I was. So it's something that we both grew up with and we both want to continue. In Miracle's case, I'm not sure her background, but at the age of 31, she wants to be married. So she answered yes. So it's not the case of not all women want to be married and people forcing marriage upon people. She stated it herself. She wants to be married. But now that she's a mother and she has an almost 2-year-old, she did state that she's getting older. She probably has been reiterating the idea of marriage to Tyler, and now it's just the waiting game. And I feel like that's a very unfortunate place for women to be in, where you have to wait for a ring because you have given different variations of commitment to a man who isn't showing and hasn't shown that he's capable of that. Tyler LaPlay has 2 kids by another woman named April, and I remember seeing some drama and controversy where she came out and had some back and forth with Miracle, as well as stating that she's been placed in a very tough position. This was not just his girlfriend, this was his fiance. They were engaged to be married, and he left her for Miracle Watts. Essentially, he ran from the commitment that he already made and the seed that he already planted to another woman, and now his new woman wants more commitment through marriage, and she's playing the waiting game. Some of these men show you who they are, their patterns are not hidden. It's just up for some women to open their eyes and see it for themselves. I know that when you get with a guy and he left his last girl or the last situation didn't go too well, he talks about her and bashes her and talks to you and praises you. So you're under the impression that the last girl was this, that, and the third, not knowing that he was the fourth. It's something that a lot of men do well, and I feel like that's what's going on here. I'm not saying that they're not going to make it to the altar. But I feel like if her end goal was always marriage, her starting point was pretty terrible. You just got with a man who left his fiance and 2 kids for you, and it usually doesn't pan out how you think it will. You should never think that a man wouldn't do you the way how he did someone else. I learned that lesson the very hard way. One day I'll share my story, but it's usually inevitable that a tiger doesn't change his stripes. I think the relationship on Instagram comes off very loving, very cute, they're never in controversy or drama, but at the same time, to see your girlfriend answering questions, changing her tone, like getting real snappy as if marriage has been a conversation with y'all, me personally, I feel like that conversation came after the baby, and she's already given the commitment of a child, which is a lifetime thing that you cannot come back from. It's not giving Tyler la play, it's giving Tyler la playa. Now, the fourth and final situation that I wanted to talk about is Instagram influencer and business entrepreneur Jazmine Cheaves. Jazmine is the oldest sister to fellow Instagram influencer and business entrepreneur Jada Cheaves, also known as Jada Wada. So she recently had a baby. Her son is only a few months old, and she's been dealing with her fair share of baby daddy drama. Now, this one is a little bit unique because we're actually hearing her speak a lot more than some of the others, and she's been getting quite a bit of backlash for some of the comments that she's made, and I'll get to my opinions on why. So Jazmine has a son who's only a few months old by a rapper named 600 Breezy. Now, 600 Breezy has a X amount of kids, we don't know. So he has 2 kids, 1 boy and 1 girl that he claims, and then he allegedly has triplets by this female rapper named Queen Key that is from Chicago, which are 2 boys and 1 girl of those triplets. The reason why I say allegedly is because he does not claim these triplets. He refuses to claim them, and I believe the backstory is that there was never a paternity test taken, so he refuses to claim them because paternity has never been established. Now, y'all can let me know if you know. I'm not sure why this is, but I did find a few TikToks that I'm going to insert.
Okay, y'all, let's get into this new drama. So 600 Breezy is now dating Jazmine Cheaves, the sister of Jada Cheaves. So someone makes a comment and says, "We don't do deadbeats, sis." So she responds with this. She says, "Girl, one thing you know I don't play about is them kids. Period. If that was the case, I would never. Be for real. Y'all just be talking. He take care of his real kids, for sure. I watch him." Now that stems from this woman who allegedly has triplets by 600 Breezy. You can pause to read these tweets. And then she also posted this. Now, the alleged mother of his child, Queen Key, says she did not have a DNA test done for her own personal reasons.
Did you ever do a DNA test? So it's so crazy because I was gonna do it, but then I had stopped.
So commenters are saying that even though he did not do a DNA test does not mean he is not the father. Then Jazmine went to her story to post a tattoo that 600 Breezy got for her with the caption, "He belongs to me." And if y'all don't remember, back in September of 2022, his girlfriend Raven K. Jackson unalived herself, and it's believed to be that he was the reason. Now, he also took to social media to say F those kids, referring to the triplets that he does not claim.
And fuck them kids, on me, fuck them triplets, on me. That bitch started that rumor because I ain't want her. I want them kids. She running around talking about some gay shit. Bitch, fuck you, be a single parent. I don't give a fuck if I am or ain't the dead.
So 1, he's a possible deadbeat. And 2, he causes women to unalive themselves.
I feel like for 2 people who want to know the paternity of a child or children, it's as simple as agreeing to do it and getting it done. But it just seems like it's never been done, and the babies are now 4 years old. So Jada's sister, Jazmine Cheaves, just had a baby by him, knowing that he was a deadbeat, knowing that he's not in the lives of 3 children that allegedly belong to him. But even outside of all of that, knowing that she is technically the 3rd or 4th baby mother. I don't know what in the Summer Walker is going on. And the issue that is arising is that she's speaking about her situation, but there's this back and forth between Jazmine and Queen Key, and it's just causing a lot of drama. It all started when Jazmine revealed who her child's father was, which I think people knew that these 2 were dating on and off, and there was some sort of social media back and forth, and now it's escalated to the next escalator.
He was very understood. Like, when I first told him I was pregnant, he was like, "Oh, well, you choosing to do that. We broke up, this and that." I told him, "All right, bet if you're not gonna be there, like, I'm gonna find somebody who gonna be there for me these next 9 months. Like, I don't plan on being miserable, y'all, from attacking me because of who my baby daddy was. We all know he a deadbeat. That probably will never change, but I got a beautiful baby." He was like, "I still send money, I don't, but now that the baby's born, I haven't heard from him. Like, I don't reached out, or I'm not about to keep doing it. No, he won't get that out of me. It's never that deep. You don't want to be in this beautiful baby life." That is on you.
Yeah.
So basically, 600 Breezy pulls the usual deadbeat daddy dip off as soon as Jazmine told him she was pregnant. He dipped out, and she pretty much did the whole pregnancy and the labor and delivery by herself. Now, she's an established person. She has money, and not from her sister's fame or her sister baby daddy's fame. She was the actual one that was on and popping before Jada. She's the older sister. She's been doing lashes. She's been doing classes. She makes good money. So it's not that she's yearning for financial support, but again, it takes a lot more than financial contribution to raise a child. And outside of that, as you can see with the examples on today's list, a lot of these women are not even seeking financial assistance. They're well-known entertainers in their own right, and they have the money to take care of their children, but having a committed and faithful partner seems to be the issue. Requiring high standards and nothing but high standards seems to be the issue. So when Jazmine revealed her baby daddy, which she did post on her podcast, she did make some subliminal comments in regards to his parenting as well as his relationship with Queen Key's children. And then after this was said, of course, a mother is going to come and protect her cubs, let alone anything about her cubs or anything in relation to her cubs. And Queen Key came back with the following message.
He a deadbeat for another baby. First of all, y'all see me, I got myself in my room everywhere, literally. But now that he a deadbeat for another baby, leave me and my kids out of it. It's a new suspect, for real. Y'all so now comment on his shit and tell him how he a deadbeat to her kids or something. Leave us the out of it. It's some new characters. Let them have it. No doubt. I don't get shit to do with that shit. And let find God, be peaceful, you know, start loving themselves, you know, like that. Other than that, let them have it. It's a new suspects in town, literally though.
So just in short, these ladies have gone back and forth. Most recently, Jazmine appeared on her sister Jada's podcast, which is co-hosted with Jada's best friend Des, where she spoke on her situation again. Here's what she had to say.
And then it's like, you know, I made a like a little thing, you know, when we was actually in a relationship, and it was like people still get mad at me to this day about what I said, but to this day I still stand on it. Like, what
did you say?
I was like, he take care of his real kids. That's exactly what I said. And I would literally sit in the bed and like see you talk to your kids, talk to your baby mamas. Like, we will all have conversations together. So I don't understand why people be like, oh, they mad at me because of another situation.
That had nothing to do with you.
I don't even know what the fuck.
Yeah,
you see. And he is an active dad for the kids that he claimed. Period. Just like he know Blaze is his, and he's willing to be an active dad. So if he not there for them kids, you know, that don't got nothing to do with me. He don't want to claim them kids, and that's how he feels. So it's like people
like they was not looking at it in a way of.
And they keep saying like, oh, y'all situations is the same. Bitch, no the fuck it's not.
Yeah. So how many kids does he have? Yeah.
He has a son, a daughter, and Blaze.
So 3. Okay.
Those is what he claimed.
Okay, cool. Do you feel like,
no? Kids is? Oh. And he literally will sit here and say like, I don't give a fuck. Okay. I'm not. That's it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a lot. But here's my take on this. There's a lot of people dragging Jazmine, and I feel like for many reasons, she does deserve to be dragged. Overall, it was a good podcast. You know, they talked about a range of different things. You know, the sister to sister thing I can relate to because I have a sister close in age. But what she did say that was bad is simply speaking on the fact that she does not believe that those 3 children belong to that man. And I find it interesting that a man could do you just like he did another girl, but you feel as though you're so above and beyond the situation that it can't be you. Again, the lesson is always going to be, don't think a man won't do you like he did the last girl. Men have a very conniving and vindictive and sneaky way of boosting up the next girl, down talking the last girl, just to get in the head of the next girl and get what he wants, just to play the next girl the same way that he did the last girl. And I think that's what happened here. I didn't get why Des was asking if she thought that those were 600 Breezy's kids. Like, what does that have to do with anything? That's very irrelevant to the 3 ladies in this podcast, and it was definitely very shady and very messy. The reality is there are 3 kids that allegedly belong to a man who has not been a part of their life ever. And when you look at Queen Key's 3 kids, they look just like this man. These are literal identical offspring to 600 Breezy. But I feel like at this point, Queen Key, who has been a single and sole mother providing for these 3 kids, just let it go and let it up to God. At this point, she's taken on her role as a single mom, the sole provider, and it is what it is. And it seems like this somehow bothers Jazmine because she's got done the same exact way, but she's still delusional enough to believe that she's above the situation. Maybe because she's rich richer or more known or just thinks she's better. I don't know. How I would have answered the question, I would have just said, in all honesty, that situation has nothing to do with me. I know he's the father of my child and he acknowledges my child, and I've seen him interact with the other 2 baby mothers that he does claim, and that's just all I know. And that's it. But the question was shady anyway. All in all, she's now a baby mother. She got done the same exact way as the other ladies got done. And I feel like there are certain women who just refuse to learn from the reality that their man is a part of. I don't know what would make someone think that the 4th baby mother would get any better treatment than 1, 2, and 3. The back and forth is childish. I don't think either lady should be playing into it. I get it. Don't speak on me and my children or their situation. I get Queen Key's approach to it. But the reality is he's a deadbeat and he runs from his problems, and he left Jazmine as soon as she announced to him that she was pregnant.
Yeah, miscarriages, abortions, like, there's a lot of females claiming they pregnant by me, so.
Abortions that were your decision making on that, or the females?
A few was my decision making, because it was just like, I know in my head, like, damn, it's a chance that you can be pregnant by me. So I can't risk it, because I don't, first for one, I don't want to be stuck with you for all these years. It's really for everything. People say to them kids 18, you still gonna have to talk to this lady and deal with this lady forever. So that's forever. I don't want to be stuck with this bitch forever. For 2, it's just like, yeah, just number 1 is the main one. I don't want to be stuck with that bitch forever. And then that kid gonna have a piece of this. Nah, bro, that's just the devil. That's just the devil.
She did not require him to have any fatherly accolades before she procreated with him. She did not require herself to have a better lineup in the numerical placement as a baby mother before procreating with him. She did not require, at the very least, a peaceful and amicable situation with his other children's mothers before she procreated with him. And that brings me to my 5th and final point. So my last point is basically, in conclusion, these are examples of women who aren't requiring the things that they want and need before giving a full-time and lifetime commitment by having a man's baby. And it's true that relationships don't work out for many reasons, but I think what's constant with these examples is that a lot of these women are jumping the gun with giving a man their body, their womb, before honing in on the things that they actually want. Whether it's marriage, commitment, respect, being physically present, being active fathers, whatever it may be, they didn't require it in advance. And you know, some people change once a baby comes around, but a lot of times these things are evident before the baby. Let's be real. And I feel as though they get plastered as they'll be okay because part of their lifestyles make them exceptions to the rule. They have money, they have fame, they have relevance in pop culture in some way, and they make it look good. But to the average everyday woman that may be in a similar situation, they are truly struggling. Single baby motherhood has failed a lot of women. Again, this is not about forcing marriage or advocating for marriage. The stats do show that children born within a marriage do end up being better, and it's unfortunate that there are women objecting themselves to just being a mother before being respected. Not necessarily before being a wife, not necessarily before being a partner, not necessarily before being a girlfriend, but just solely being respected. We have women waiting on rings. We have women taking 100% of the parental role. We have women having to end their families prematurely, and we have women not learning from the realities of other women who have dealt with the same man that they're dealing with. It's all a bunch of malarkey, and I really hope and pray that all 4 of these ladies get what they want in the end. It might not be from the man that they're with, and it truly is a learning lesson to see that giving up your womb prematurely without requiring what you really want will cost you. You pay the price in the end, and it's an even bigger price to pay when there's a child involved. I consider this a failure, not because the relationships have failed or the expectations have failed, but the stigma that Black women and women of color get for being baby mothers never serves women in general. And women are oftentimes bashed for being a baby mother, when in a lot of cases, I would even say in most cases, that was never the intention in the first place. I don't think the average woman goes into a relationship to end up pregnant and having to take care of their child on their own or wait around for a bigger commitment from the man that she's with. I never think that's the goal. And baby mamahood has really become a failure overall because most of the women experiencing it are not happy, are not satisfied, are frustrated, and are in a place that they never wanted to be in the first place. So that is it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Please let me know your commentary on my commentary down below. What do you think? What do you know? Let me know. If you haven't already, go stream all of my music. It is out on all platforms. Y'all, I'm going to the studio this week, so y'all will be getting a preview of my new AfroBeats Amapiano wave very soon, so maybe about next week it should be here. Also, I have a new vlog up on my vlog channel. Make sure you guys check that out. It is pinned down below. Subscribe to my vlog channel if you want to see me on a more personal level and get a deep dive into my life. And lastly, don't forget to follow me on all of my social media networks, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye, y'all. On you, on who?
you on. All hail the queen, QC, yeah, she is risen. Presence is a gift, so I come with the ribbon. Internet told me stop rapping, I ain't listen to him. No, I really got more bars in the prison system, right? Yeah, one beef, step into the kitchen. Murder flows, you can suspect, I am not the victim. Beat queen, D's on that bitch like we with the Pistons. Red cherry, red bottoms, I know how to pick them. Always got a secret plan, I don't do the fighting. Shorty is a secret fan, yeah, she ghost riding. Brown skin beauty with a booty, showtime. Go off on a tangent, I don't need a cosign. 12 baddies limited, I cheap about a dozen. Hot girl straight up out the microwave oven. Gotta bring a chicken man before you get to stuffing. And this beat going crazy, snapping on percussion. Chioma at the top, I'm the #1 prospect. Beat from Lakia when she slid on Cosmic. Told him come here, boo, I'm tryna make your jaw stiff. Got no pics, but I wanna see your pockets. Big glossy lips, dry them out like a faucet. Speak chickenese, so I put them in a cockpit. Cooking in the studio, call me Betty Crockett. Gingerbread baby running fast like Sonic. It's commendable, was a ceremony, but now it's a festival. New money now, so you gotta move a decimal. Presidential suite, and it's looking all congressional. I'm so delectable, pull your queen card, cause mine is a collectible. Better mind your business and stay off my genitals. Probably make them high, cause my body's like an edible. Wait, let me stop, cause I'm trying to be professional. Damn. I know that's what y'all said when you heard that verse. Y'all was like, damn. Respectfully though, we on Victoria Island. Like a gullah, sun on my melanin. Working on my color, bubblegum pink fit. Chew you out like hubba bubba, need my check Friday. I'm calling you a moda soca. She naked me, baby, I'm so fine. I damn wine, be sweet like palm wine. Now, when you come say hi. I see so, baby, no be long time. Go down